congratulations, Abel, on the success of SekelaXabiso. I believe you guys are celebrating over 1 year now as a successfully merged entity. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, give me an idea and a picture of your journey in life and business. Who is Abel Dlamini? Where does he come from? And how did you get to where you are today?
The journey has been long, yet gratifying. I never imagined that at this point I'll be where I am. I always had this liking of working with numbers, business, and money, because to me it always made sense to say I must be a driver of my own destiny. In fact, when I started doing my articles, I knew that I was going to be a partner in the firm, and also for me, I was not going to settle for something less than being the managing partner. And I'll call myself a serial entrepreneur because the journey has been such that I started with my own practice. Then my own practice started doing well at an early stage, and this was the time that transformation was big in the country. So a firm, international firm by the name of Arthur Andersen, then approached me to invite me to the partnership of Arthur Andersen. And again, I reflected on it hardly because I never wanted my vision to die. I never wanted to be diluted in there. But the opportunities that were there at the time, this was in the late 90s, I realized that having started on my own, there were some areas of shortcomings that I could not overcome easier unless I associated myself with those with resources and a broader clientele, particularly the training of black upcoming chartered accountants. With the client base I had, I was not going to be on my own in a position to actually train fully fledged CAs, and that is when I accepted the partnership invitation from Arthur Andersen. That went on for a good 4 years, and it was gratifying for me to see some of the people that I had brought in qualifying as CAs came up. I then started SekelaXabiso. I started Sekela at the time, and coincidentally, Xabiso had started around the same time, and we happened to be traveling in the parallel paths, which now has resulted into the measure you see today and all that. So it's been a long journey, and these past 10 years, one thing I had that distinguished me and made it a success was the belief, because I knew that this was the right thing to do, and I knew the ingredients that needed to go into it in terms of the belief, the determination, the hard work, the pushing and forever pushing, the pulling of the people to get them to buy into that vision. I knew and believe in that, and we are beginning now to get to some realization of it. And where we are, we are not sitting on our laurels. We've set ourselves ambitious goals to 2020. So this journey has just started.
So why is SekelaXabiso a horse that you can bet on confidently?
SekelaXabiso is formed on a vision of creating a truly South African business that we're gonna, in many years to come, reflect back and say this was the right decision. That is how far I've cast my vision. Focusing on a myriad of issues. One, addressing the issues that we are confronted with. The issues of underdeveloped and underskilled black people. The issues of alleviating and addressing the huge level of unemployment amongst our people. The need to produce for the country the number of CAs that are going to serve this community and are going to serve the business of this country. On the other side, we are very much conscious of the level of excellence in everything that we do. We want to do everything at the highest of standard. This is what then will differentiate us as the organization for the future. We knew that we were never gonna go for short-term gains, which is where some of the black businesses have fallen short on, where the opportunities are actually maximized for short-term gains without investing in the future. Just before the merger, we took a conscious decision. This was just Sekela. I said to the guys, this year, I'm not concerned about the bottom line. This year, I'm taking a different view. You will invest in people development. Because I had identified that one of the shortcomings of black practices was the lack of the understanding as to how important it is to invest in your human resource. Some pockets of our society are actually saying there's been BE for the 20 years, there's been affirmative action for the 20 years, this is reverse discrimination. But none of those people stop to consider that what has been the achieved impact of what has been done. And if you look at it, it's just a drop in the ocean. You look at the number of women, black and white, that sit on these leadership roles in this company. We've hardly got started. This is the time that there's a realization, and it was comforting for me to see the ruling party coming out of their elective conference saying all these policies, we've now entered the era. We've told the good story. Now we must do the right acts. Now this is a time for implementation. And it is from that basis that we, as the ordinary citizen, must then hold them accountable to say, you've got good story in terms of your laws and the policies. Now you implement them because you must account to us as a constituency. And if you look at the scale where we are, 20 years later, 95% of wealth is in the less than 10% minority. You just have to extrapolate and see how long is it gonna take before you've got an equitable society. So based on that front, and there is no reason why people must rest until that is achieved.
And so in this future that you see, this journey of transformation that we're going through as a nation, where do you feel SekelaXabiso is poised to perform in that future that you see?
SekelaXabiso is one of the key participants there, and we've got to make it happen. And we are privileged because we've been given opportunities and the platforms. And all these good policies have enabled us to acquire the prestige accounts that we've got, the massive accounts in terms of that. I look at it now and I tell the team that, guys, we would have failed if we will not achieve what we want on the back of a transit contract. How many of those are there in anyone's lifetime? This is a unique blessing for us, and is being given to us for a purpose. We can't just be here just to say that. We need to be saying this is a stepping stone to bigger things, and we leverage of it. So SekelaXabiso for me now has taken on a huge responsibility to be the front runner of transformation. Sometimes my team feel that I'm not grateful of some of the things which they are doing when I say, guys, you must do more. Because I'm mindful of, we need to reciprocate for the country to say, us having got this opportunity, we need to say we took this opportunity and we converted into 10 opportunities on the back of it.
SekelaXabiso has got Vision 2020,
yes,
where you aim to become a 1 billion rand organization by that year.
Yes.
That is a crazy mammoth task. Very ambitious.
Sure.
How will you get there?
All right. Well, for me, as a figures person or the numbers person, the numbers don't lie. We can show now a growth year on year, from year one to the last 10 years, 25% growth that's been enjoyed by these companies differently. Now together, obviously there's going to be some synergy. We need to do more than the 25%. If I take that 25%, for me, I see us realizing that billion in 2019. And I need to be convinced by someone to say, why are we not going to realize it? In fact, the pressure is not on us. The pressure is on those now who are currently enjoying the clients and the fees that we are chasing on. Because we are really going hard for it. And we've got proven credentials in the little bit that we had that is really saying to us we are worth being considered for those contracts. And we're going to fight for our space. And I don't see anything preventing us. So there's all the reasons mathematically and from numbers point of view that backs my case. And if you are serious and you want to be considered as a serious player, you've got to set the bar high. You've got to keep your people stretched at all times. And that is the only way we're going to keep you guys in the firm motivated, because you must feel pushed, you must feel you're achieving things. We must create a business that's going to afford more opportunities for you to grow in that business. Because if we are not growing, then we are dying.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure.